Hey guys, Coach Z here to talk to you guys about dining out. So, one of the first things that people ask me about when they're debating whether or not to join one of my groups is, am I going to be able to eat out? And the answer is absolutely yes. In fact, you can travel, you can eat out. We want to create a lifestyle. This is not about absolute restriction for 21 days and then afterwards you have no idea how to live a normal life. So please eat out and have fun eating out. Here are some tips that one of my coaches and I compiled together from different groups, and I hope you find them helpful. All right. Number one, water. If you start your entire meal with water, and I always like to ask for lemon in mine because it makes it feel a little more special, you are going to feel more full going into the meal. You are less likely to feel bloated from extra sodium because most of the time when you eat out, it is going to be more sodium that you have than you have at home. And it's going to help you cleanse your stomach in a way before you're piling on everything else. I actually don't like to drink a lot of water with my food because I feel like it fills up too much space and all the food kind of gets packed in there with the water. So I like to drink a lot before my meal gets there, okay? Number two, the bread basket. This is something that one of my coaches, Stacy, said, and I think it has really stuck with me. How many times do you leave a restaurant and the most exciting thing you had was the bread? I mean, there are a couple places I've been to in my life that are known for their bread, but for the most part, it should not be the most exciting part of your meal. It's the first thing that's put in front of you, and so it's like that knee-jerk reaction to grab it. If you're with other people who are fine with you saying, hey, don't even bring the bread basket, that is the best option because I find that if it's in front of me, then I'm more likely to dig into it, okay? So if it is in front of you and you're with a party and you don't want to be that person who's like, I don't want the bread on the table because everybody else wants it, then this is where you are going to have to exercise some willpower. And what I would recommend is get your salad ASAP. Okay, so you have something to eat before the bread gets there. So that brings us to appetizers. Let's talk about them. A lot of appetizers are going to be fried or very heavy in dips. And if you're with a party that's going to order these, you're going to be pressured to eat them. So if that's the case, then I'm always going to get myself a side salad. Be careful with side salads, though. A lot of times they are covered in nuts and cheese and very sugar-heavy or cream-heavy dressings, okay? Cheese and nuts are not bad, but you guys know from our groups that you have to kind of pick between what you're going to use your blue for, okay? So make sure that you are thinking ahead and planning it out. I tend to usually start with a green salad, and I'll just ask for olive oil and some lemon juice. You could also do some balsamic if that's what you like. And I find that if I'm eating that, it's easier for me to say no to the bread and the other appetizers. All right. Look at the menu ahead of time and know what you need for the day. So here's why that's so important. If you know you're going to go to, say, a Mexican restaurant for dinner, well, let's think about a couple things here. If I'm going to be having a glass of wine with dinner, then I need to save a yellow. If I want to have a couple corn tortillas, I need to save another yellow. Well, on some of the plans, there's only 2 yellows, so you've got to plan, the rest of your day ahead. But that's the cool thing. You can enjoy both of those things for dinner if you plan ahead of time. You might want some avocado on that shrimp taco, so save your blue, all right? You got to think ahead and plan ahead, and what I usually do is I go online and I look at the menu and I plan out what I'm going to eat the entire day so that I can have what I want for dinner. Let's talk about salads. Salads are what many people think the healthiest option, and that is not always the case, and I learned that the hard way. A lot of times salads have what I mentioned earlier, a bunch of extra ingredients that if you don't plan ahead for, you're going to be way over, and you're going to eat 1,000-calorie salad that you had no intention of eating, okay? So sometimes salads are fine. Just plan ahead and really think about the dressing and save your containers. But they're not the only thing on the menu. So unless you really like the salad, you can probably enjoy something else. Some of my favorite options are a chicken sandwich. I love a grilled chicken sandwich. And what I usually do is I only eat the bottom half of the bun and I toss the top half. And I like a little bit of avocado on there. There's actually a bar really close to our house where we live. It's like a total sports bar, and they have a lean chicken breast sandwich. It's perfect. And I do that all the time. So you can find usually something like that anywhere you go. A nice fine dining restaurant, there's nothing wrong with a small piece of steak. Just be careful because some of those portions are huge. Or you can do salmon. There's a lot of options, and then your side can be some veggies. If you saved a carb, you can have it for a drink, or you can choose a healthy carb. Don't be scared to ask for changes. We live in 2018 where so many people have diet restrictions. You are not going to be the weirdo if you ask for, what I do a lot of times is I'll order the side salad and I'll say, can you bring me a side of salmon? And then I've kind of made my own meal. I do that a lot. Or I'll say, hey, I know you have salmon on the menu. Can I order that? And then can I just get a side of steamed veggies? Even if that exact dish isn't on the menu, sometimes I play around and ask for what I want, okay? All right, where are we? Think about how things are prepared. So blackened, grilled, broiled are going to be better options than pan-fried, deep-fried, etc. I gave you guys an example of what I would order at a Mexican restaurant, like shrimp tacos or fish tacos are a go-to. Fajitas are great. And you can ask for corn tortillas if you want, because you get 2 corn tortillas for 1 yellow. So it's a lot of bang for your buck. Just once again, be careful of what you're putting on. If you're going to save your avocado, if you want avocado on it, then just save it for that day. And there you go. Or if you want cheese, then save it. You have to think ahead. Another thing that I do is when I go to a Mexican restaurant, I love salsa. And what is the vehicle for salsa? It's chips. I have a very hard time passing up the salsa, although the chips aren't really, I can say no to them. So what I do is I ask for a plate of veggies and I dip those fresh veggies into the salsa. Last time, it was just a few days ago actually, Todd and I went out to eat and they gave me a plate of mushrooms, celery, carrots, and asparagus. And it was perfect with their delicious homemade salsa. All right, guys, I'm going to tell you my absolute favorite trick. This has been my go-to for the last almost 3 years. Half now, half later. The biggest issue with eating out, especially in the United States, because I've traveled to other places where this is not as big of a concern, is the portions. Todd and I went out to an Italian dinner the other day, and I did get a salad, and it was a totally clean salad. It was a chicken breast salad. I had saved the right containers. The dressing was fine. I had made my own concoction, and everything was good. But the plate was like bigger than me, you guys. It was huge. Even a salad, I don't need that much. I don't need that much chicken. It was probably like I'm not kidding when I say like 4 servings of chicken according to our plan. And I had only saved 1 red for dinner. And guys, I get a lot of reds because I'm pregnant. That just tells you like how much food we're being given when we order out. So half now, half later. You just say, hey, do you mind if I can get half now and you could pack half for me to go? If you put that plate in front of me, I grew up in a family where we cleaned our plates, and I am going to eat a lot more than I even need or I'm hungry for. And I don't even recognize that I feel like I'm going to pop till I'm totally done, okay? So I find that it's best to say, just give me half now and can you pack half for later? And let's look at what can happen. Either you eat half and you realize, okay, that was not enough food and their portions weren't as big as I thought, so then you've got the other half, dig in. Or 2, it's perfect, you feel totally satisfied, and now you have another meal to eat. Maybe if you had that for lunch, you can have it for dinner, or you can have it for tomorrow. Usually when they pack it ahead of time, they pack it really nicely. It's not like just your leftovers thrown into a to-go box. So half now, half later. Do not be embarrassed to ask for this. It is the go-to for me when I go out to eat. All right, let's talk about dessert. So first of all, I know the desire to have dessert because after you eat, we want that little sweet feeling in our mouth. So one of the things that I do is I like to keep some dark chocolate with me in my purse, and I'll just pop that into my mouth, and I feel totally satisfied. And it's actually even better than after dinner mints because sometimes those give you the satisfaction, but they're not that tasty. We're like a really good piece of dark chocolate, and I usually shoot for like 80-85% or higher because that means the sugar content is a lot lower. It's exactly what I need. Now, if you're absolutely going to want dessert and you're going to share it with someone else, I recommend just a couple of bites And this is another tip from my coach, Stacy. Order a very decadent chocolate dessert off the menu. Why? Because a couple of bites of a very decadent chocolate dessert is totally going to satisfy you, okay? Where sometimes with other types of desserts, especially if they're like really airy and fluffy, a couple bites aren't going to do much, even though they're just as heavy. You just don't realize it, okay? So I can do 2 bites of a very rich chocolate cake. Now you put a creme brulee in front of me, and that's another story. I have a very hard time holding back. So if you're going to give in to one, give in to the other option and stick to 1 or 2 bites only. Another trick is order coffee or tea. If you're with a party or even just one person and dessert is happening, give yourself something else to do so that you're not taking 2 bites and then staring at the person while they devour their dessert. Okay, so coffee is a great option. If it's late at night and coffee affects you, then get some herbal tea, but something to kind of sip on, okay? The last one that I'll end with is wine. So you can, or any alcohol, there is an option in the 21-day fix, and if you don't know what it is, you can Google 21-day fix beverage adjustments. And so you can have beer or hard liquor or wine on the plan, but you have to save containers for it, okay? So make sure that you plan ahead. And I want you guys to think about not ordering alcohol before your food gets there. That's what the restaurant wants you to do, because they know if you get that in there, if you get the alcohol in your system before the food gets there, you will absolutely order another one with your food. So don't do that. Wait to order if you're going to drink, and then order your drink to go with your food, and then you can probably get by with just one. All right? I hope that's helpful. And you guys, if you're going out this weekend, check those menus ahead of time. And if you need to post on our group a picture of the menu and you want some help deciding what to eat, do that. We've got a lot of coaches on the page, and one of us, if not all of us, will jump in and give you guys some suggestions. It's very rare you could ever take me to a restaurant where I can't find something approved to eat. Have a fabulous day and a fabulous weekend. Just remember, the weekend is not an opportunity to change the plan that we're on. We want to show that we can live a healthy lifestyle regardless of what the day of the week is. So I'm expecting those strong numbers from you guys. Have a good one.